Hiya papaya, my dearest goblin! Today we are going to take a look at one of the most prevalent states of being in the FGC, failure. According to good old Merriam-Webster, failure can be an omission of occurrence or performance, or what I'd like to focus on is their second definition, a lack of success. Now, much like your mother being relieved she doesn't have to make love with your emotionally absent father because of his erectile dysfunction, your opponent will rejoice as you whiff a DP before they send you home with an 0-2 record at your locals. And much like your emotionally unavailable father, you will find yourself drowning in an ocean of shortcomings before ultimately shaking it off. Now, before I, the cat, get too deep into the wildly unorganized rambling you'd expect from your oddly sexist science teacher from middle school, I'd like you to take a moment to think about what failure is in fighting games. Go ahead, I'm waiting. Yep, just take your time. I guess I expected too much out of you, but what you might have been imagining if you had an iota of a brain cell might have been the "you lose" screen. Or maybe your brain wandered in a different direction and showed you getting hit by that Wi-Fi Ryu's Hadouken and Shoryuken over and over with seemingly no way to get in because they were a spamming piece of shit, right? Well, chances are for newer players in the FGC or those who have grown complacent, there wasn't much thought beyond that. In fact, they might have gotten angry and went on Twitter to complain about a character before begging Daisuke for nerfs. Like I keep begging NSFW artists to remember that I can shapeshift. Sure, maybe that's what failure looks like for you, but failure looks different to many people who are at different points in their FGC journeys. It's not impossible to grow with the mindset of, oh, I lost an interaction or a match and it's bullshit because of X, Y, or Z. Many people do grow with that mindset. However, if you are looking to make your time in game go further and grow faster, you need to start failing better. Well, Cat, what does failing better look like? I really appreciate the participation, my little goblin. Continue to do that. Let's use a very specific and common example to get us started. You just picked up that shiny new fighting game, you opened the box, or more likely downloaded it from an online game store. You boot it up before quickly selecting the character you think is neat, shortly before loading into an online match. Then some bozo from halfway around the world has got you stuck in a corner within 4 seconds and is currently blending your ass into a smoothie. You keep getting hit and your health bar disappears like your father on your 7th birthday.
Ooh, I didn't even get to play the game. They were using a cheat move. I couldn't even get a hit.
You whine like a grown fucking baby, but you're frustrated and you immediately queue back up and repeat the exact same cycle. Maybe you got a hit in on round start this time though. What happened? Did you lose because you didn't practice at all? Well, not really. What you didn't notice was there was some flashing text screaming "counter" every half a second when you were stuck in the corner mashing like a fucking idiot. I mean, literally the whole game your fingers were twerking all over your preferred controller and you never held down and or back the entire time. In this stupidly common example, the best thing you can do is just take a breath and block for a bit. Eventually you will notice the gaps in the opponent's pressure, then you can move or mash. After the match, you can go to training mode and figure out exactly where you can interact with the block string. Your decision to option select why you lost is how you kept failing wrong. If you had just tried literally anything other than what got you fucked up in the first place, you could have been on the right path. Why don't we do one more example of failing incorrectly before I provide you the secret formula to failure. You keep outplaying your opponent in neutral before getting them into a hard knockdown. However, every single time you go to run your Okazemi, they hit you with a wake up DP, forcing a reset to neutral. Time and time again, you get the knockdown, the Volcanic Viper! Your fury grows, God's shivers are timbered by your climaxing rage, yet you still lost the match because you couldn't adapt to one wake up option your opponent was using. Once again, you go straight to your next match without ever calming down and finding an answer to your recurring problem. It might have been as simple as using a safe jump, walking backwards, or even the forbidden tech of just blocking. But you never found out because you refused to take accountability for that failure and learn how to overcome it. So I've been talking some shit in this video, but I have yet to provide a concrete answer on how to fail effectively in fighting games. This is the part where I do that, right now, so pay attention to me. The process is fail, identify, attempt. Sometimes you succeed right there and you can move on. Most of the time though, it's gonna be a little harder, and after, you might have to repeat the process multiple times before finally succeeding. This idea is always going to be more powerful the more specific the failure was. For example, I keep losing to wake up DP is going to be easier to fix than I can't beat Happy Chaos. I highly recommend pairing this process with watching your replays and going into training room with a purpose to maximize your results. It might take an extra 5 to 10 minutes away from your online matches, but it'll save you hours upon hours of frustration. The funny thing is, you also have to realize, even after you've learned the answers and you've practiced them, and you feel like you've got them down pat, you're still gonna get mixed by that unseeable high-low or hit by a wake-up DP. But you won't have it happen nearly as often, and you might even scare the opponent into not using an option because you had the knowledge to punish them for something that they tried earlier. Unfortunately, to truly utilize this ability, you need to be comfortable and somewhat competent in self-reflection and holding yourself accountable. The good news is, even if you are the biggest piece of shit who blames everything on everyone else for your own shortcomings, this tech will eventually bear fruit in both fighting games and real life. Who knows? You just might be a better person for it. I appreciate you all for watching, and I hope to see you in— Not this time, motherfucker! I've been told as your overlord, I should be demanding a like, comment, and oh yeah, a subscription from you. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not begging for social media points from my goblins. Instead, I wanted to tell you that I released a lo-fi EP on Spotify called Wandering in What Is Left of My City. You can go listen to that instead and vibe while you practice. Or don't. I'm not your mommy, you little weirdo. Anyways, I do appreciate you all for watching this video, and I would hope to see you in tower.